welcome everyone on the panel and those at home. I welcome you and I thank you so much for taking the time to look and watch our video. Today the topic is bullying, and I think it's something that everyone maybe once in their lifetime has experienced, or maybe they've been the bullies, I don't know. So I have looked up the meaning of the word in Encyclopedia Britannica, and it says that bullying is intentional harm doing or harassment that is directed toward vulnerable targets and typically repeated. Bullying is a wide range of aggressive behaviors, including physical violence, verbal mockery, threats, rumor spreading, and doing it via the internet or other means. So that is the explanation of bullying, and we can begin. Maybe Jamila, you can start, and then we'll just start with whoever can come in.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. So my experience when it comes to bullying, it wasn't that like drastic, but it was more like people would wouldn't talk to me, and then when they would, it was more in primary school, they wouldn't listen to me, or they wouldn't really pay that much attention. And then I'd have people like close friends who would say really like weird things, you know, like that microaggression. Basically, they would be like racist, and then they'd just laugh it off like it was a joke, and it really wasn't, and it actually hit because they were close friends. And then during my high school experience, it was more that people thought they could try and pick on me because they thought I was weak. But every time they picked on me, I kind of just like brushed it off as like a joke, or just pretended that it didn't bother me. And then one time my mom said to me that if you stand up to yourself, the bullies will start to like either fear you or respect you. So then I started to do that, and it was so weird. After like a year, they all started being like, "Oh, hi, Jamila, hi." And I was just like, "You were so nasty to me last year." So I think that can really help when it comes to bullying. It sometimes doesn't help at all. It sometimes makes everything worse if you stand up to your bullies. But in this case, it actually worked for me. So I'm happy that my mom told me.
Yeah, Shakira?
Well, it's also to talk about Mill's point about sometimes it makes it worse. Personally, I was bullied because I was like, me and my sister, we were some of the only people of color at our school. Like, I would say like 99% was like white. And everybody, like, it was just me and Imani there. And I started school, it was like the small micros, people were like bullying me or being racist. I just thought that it's because I'm quiet, that's why I don't really have any friends. But when I just snapped at some point after like 3-4 years, and I just started getting aggressive. But then they used that instead to bully me with that, and then spreading rumors saying that I was throwing scissors at people's heads and that I was planning to kill people or something like that. It just got completely out of hand just from me standing up for myself instead. And then the teachers would instead use that and say that I should just have ignored them because then the problem will go away, which was actually really hurtful.
Thanks, Jamila and Shakira, for sharing your stories. Jamila, I heard you. For you, it was also, you were bullying and you tried to like brush it off, you know, as a joke. And then you realized, like your mother said, you need to stand up for yourself, because that's, with bullies, that's the only way you get respect. And it's good you did that, because you can see you got your respect as you deserved. And as for Shakira, I know you've told me your stories. I think it's so sad when bullying also is involved. The way with Shakira, they pick up, as we learned about bullying, a strong, weak person, because we know Shakira is not weak, she's just quiet. Thank you for sharing your story. Ciiku?
I think we need to address what Shakira has said. So she said in her case, when she stood up for herself, things got worse for her, in terms of now the teachers could blame her and say, well, you were aggressive, or, well, you know, you did this and that. So I think we should talk about that maybe towards the end, talk about how can people in positions of power or leadership support people who are being bullied, because the only reason Shakira and Jamila got to that point where they had to be sort of aggressive or stand for themselves is because it wasn't being dealt with by the people,
Exactly,
responsible people who were there. So let's have that discussion towards the end about people who do not do anything to support those being bullied.
definitely. I think we are all in need to want to find a solution as to what can be done. Francesca?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I kind of know you said I wanted to leave that bit to the end, but I think with like bullying in school, I think especially at the moment, I was always taught as well, if anyone bullied me, to stand up for myself. But I think nowadays it's almost like kids don't have any respect. Like, people aren't being taught as much respect the same. So like if like people, it's almost like they can make fun of people for whatever reason, because a lot of the time the teachers are also like bullies and bitchy. I found that at my school there was a lot of bitchy teachers that would take the side of who they thought was like popular or was winning, and it just what does that teach kids, that it's okay to treat people badly?
I hear you, Francesca. Sometimes, like Shiko said, when people of authority don't do anything and condone it or are part of the problem, then it's so difficult for someone like a student or people who don't have that power to be able to stop it, because you have the people who can stop it. They are taking sides. I've been in that situation too. And it's so, I really feel it because I've experienced it. And you start getting problems with sleeping and that kind of thing, because you're playing the scenario all over and thinking, what could I have done different? Yes, Shamsa?
I was bullied in primary and high school. In primary, it wasn't that like bad, but in high school, it got worse. Where, well, she was one of my like girls, were my friends. Then we became not friends anymore. Then she got her mum on me, and she started shouting at me at the bus stop, and then swearing at me and stuff like that. Then I told my mum, and then she told my teacher, and then she told Ciiku. And then they sorted it all out.
Good.
Oh, that's nice to hear. At least there, you people got together and sorted it out. It's nice when people of authority take control and stop it. Because in schools, that's what we need. We don't need teachers. Or at the workplace, it's not only schools. As grown-ups, we are also bullied. You have someone you're working with you, they don't talk to you, you say good morning, they don't say good morning. Or maybe they don't like the way your hair is, whatever. I don't know what it is that makes people like that. And the bullying starts. People in authority are the ones, especially, you have to stop it. Shakira, please.
Oh, yeah, it also just reminded me of a specific incident that I will, like, it was with an authority figure that I'll never forget ever, because I really liked this teacher at first because she was one of those, like, harsh ones that could get everybody to be quiet. Like, I was always quiet, so I just got annoyed at everybody else if they were making noise. But when we had this at school, like, when we have Easter, everybody, like, the class organizes to bring food, and then you all eat together. And that's basically all you do that school day. But I remember that specific day, there's a guy in my class who, he was like very like proudly racist. Like, I'm pretty sure at one point he drew a swastika on my computer, and like with,
Whoa.
it was a lot, this man specifically. But at this dinner, like this lunch or whatever we were doing, he was staying in the doorway while I was trying to pass him, and he kept on insulting my mother and kept calling her an ape and all kinds of other racial slurs. And when I told him, I kept informing him, like, if you don't stop, like, it was like 6 times, if you don't stop, I will throw this, like, glass, like, not glass of water, like, plastic cup of water in your face, which maybe is a bit too aggressive to do, but just the fact that I gave him a few warnings, and I still did it, and the teacher didn't react. Like, nobody was speaking in the class, so it was obvious that everybody was watching us and watching this interaction happen, but she didn't stop him at all. She only spoke up after I threw the water at him, and then she told me to clean it up, and that I was making a mess. That was like, and I even liked this teacher. I respected this teacher because she had this authority, but she didn't use this authority to help me at all. She just used it against me to, I guess, in a way, humiliate me, to make me get on my knees to clean up the water, which was, that's really scars somebody. So, like, you kind of lose hope in authority figures, and that's why I kind of didn't really tell anybody.
Yes, Shakira, thank you for sharing your story. Again, we are appealing to people in authority, and this time it was a teacher that didn't do anything but waited until the situation escalated, where Shakira felt so desperate she had to do something about it, and then the teacher blames her. And the teacher was there while the whole thing was happening. Once again, we're appealing to people in authority. They need to stop it. It's really a subject for me that really gets to me, because I hate bullies, and I will always stand up, no matter where, against bullies, one or another. I will never keep quiet. Antonella, please.
Hi. I would say that, in fact, age is not important, because usually we only, in society, we only speak up about bullying in school. But as we heard from Shakira's experience, bullies can be also adults sometimes, and not only teachers, also boss in workplaces. So this, Shakira, in your case, was an injustice. Every day, all of us, boy, girl, all of us have injustices. And in every context, we must be able to react. I will be very brief and bringing my experience. First, one thing, today I will go to a flash mob in Bari for Black Lives Matter. So it will be, there are also lots of people that join this event up also for you. In my case, it was a collection of a verbal microaggression, because also, for example, in my country, we used to joke about mothers a lot, but not relating to color. Every mother is, I don't know why they make fun of mothers, but what is very bad is talking about character and personality. So people are very cruel sometimes, and they know your weak points about your personality. So both in elementary, in middle, and in high school, I have met people that didn't understand and misunderstood my sensitiveness. Because I was irritable, sensitive, touchy. Lots of people exaggerated. They misunderstood my kindness as a weakness. But now, at 24 years old, I have learned how to be strong, but also how to react.
That's good, Antonella. We hear your story that you were bullied in a different way, and because someone took your character and just misunderstood you, just like Shakira. And it's nice that now you've reached a point in your life where you know how to stand up to those kind of people. And it's good to hear that you said that you will also help others that need it and support them as a grown-up person. And that's what we should all do. Even if we are not the kind of people who speak up, find a way to support the people that are being bullied, please. You've seen recently people dying, kids hanging themselves because they were bullied at school because they didn't have anyone for support. So please, guys, let's do our part and support those that are being bullied. Yes, Imani?
Now, I'm gonna agree with Agnes about that
people think that many times that kindness is, as she said, a weakness, and they take advantage of that, thinking, oh, she's so soft, she's so nice, she'll probably not say something back, or she's probably easy to hurt. So I agree about that. Anyway, I wanted to mention I've been bullied in 2 situations. One was in school, similar to Jamila's case, where people would just be quiet, like not talk to me, and kind of exclude me from the groups. I'm not sure about the reasons because I didn't experience racism. At least I don't remember really experiencing it. But I definitely remember being excluded, maybe because of my religious background and whatever else case. And the recent bullying I've experienced is at work. Now, some of you may know this. I was working at a nursery home or whatever you call it, where
Nursing home.
and this is with the grown-up bullying, so that happens too. Where someone who I was working with was being very harsh with me, and in the beginning I just took it as, oh, maybe she's just being strict, she's just trying to teach me her way. But then I noticed she was only pointing at me and my mistakes, even though they were so small. And sometimes it wasn't even mistakes. She just looked for something to be angry at me about. And many times when she'd tell me something, I sometimes didn't even hear what she said. Then she'll accuse me of ignoring her. And then later she'll pull me to some place and talk to me in a really nasty way. And also like being low-key racist towards me in microaggression. And she thought she could get away with it. And in my case, the way I handled this was obviously speak against her, but keep the tone like respectful, whatever. Not respectful, but not shout at her, because then she'll turn it against me if I have to complain to the boss. And then later on, I gave a complaint, and she stopped. So at least their authority kind of helped me in my case, but only because they don't want a complaint to be written. They don't want to have a bad reputation at their workplace.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Less about your welfare, more about their reputation.
Exactly.
Yep. Definitely. Many times they do that because they don't want, it's because they don't really understand you. They don't really care inside, but they want this problem to go away.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want it there facing them. They don't want it. Sorry, Shiro. Please tell us your story and your experience.
I was going to add on what Shakira and Jamila had said, because I think a lot of students, they call them learners, at least in Kenya these days, suffer in silence when they are bullied in school, and sometimes the teachers are the bullies. In my son's case, in primary school, it was a teacher who was bullying my son because he looked different, and then she'd make disparaging remarks and very negative remarks at him. And when he'd tell me, and I'd tell him, okay, let me go to school and talk to the teacher, he didn't want, because he thought, if I go to school and talk to the teachers about it, he will be bullied even more. But I thought, no, this was not really fair on him because it was affecting him. And I went and talked to the deputy head teacher, but she still continued. So in this case, after that, I went to the head teacher, and this time I used the word bullying. I said the teacher is bullying the children. She's a bully, while she should actually be the one setting the example as to how children should treat other children, but she's bullying my son. And I told the head teacher that if she continues doing that, I'm going to take action. I will go to social media. You know how it is when you're exposed in social media. And so they had to talk to her, and she stopped bullying him.
Oh,
That's
my.
a teacher bullying a child, a student in school.
It shouldn't have taken that many steps as well to get it sorted.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Seriously?
I talked to her, but she didn't listen. So I had to go further and further.
For me, what we've learned here from everyone here is don't let them get away with it, people. Don't. And the ones who are younger, and feel unsupported, please go to your parents, because your parents will be there for you. I've said it with my girls before. I will stop at nothing if my kids are bullied. I'll stop at nothing. I'll go to school. I'll do whatever it takes to stop it, because I know how it affects someone. It can actually affect you for life. So this is so serious, and we need to take it seriously. And again, we appeal to the people who can actually do something about it, to do something about it. Don't just try to sweep it away. Stop the problem. You have the power to do it. Stop it. Yes, Antonella?
So there are also other contexts in works. For example, when I met once a bully because she wanted my money. And so in this situation, it was not respectful when roles are not respected. So bullying can happen once again at every age. Stand up in every situation. Also, if you're lucky, you have a mother that can stand up for you. Like in this case, it's really, really positive. To those who will see this video and have no point of reference, like parents, don't worry, approach another adult or another colleague, a person that you trust, and stand up anyway. We of course are speaking more about bullying at school, because children are more vulnerable, but we are not forgetting every kind of situation that where people feel themselves in difficulties because they are dealing with bossy people. Bossy people are not good for us. We must learn, of course, when we get more adult, we learn also with the experience how to react more properly, more politely. And also elegance is a weapon to destroy bullies. Thank you for the attention.
Yes, Shiro.
Now, I was going to talk about my own experience because we've talked about school and the young ones, but with us adults also, I was going to talk about narcissists, because narcissists are bullies. And even the young ones with us, one time you might find yourself involved in a relationship with a narcissist. Narcissists are bullies, and they get supply, they get a thrill when they antagonize you, they bully you, it gives them a thrill. So now how do you respond to a narcissist bullying you? Some are covert narcissists, they are passive aggressive. Some are overt narcissists, they are outrightly bullies. So now at least what I know is that with narcissists, the only solution, at least in my opinion, is to just not give them any space. No contact with them, avoid them altogether, don't interact with them, because that gives them that thrill that they want. So sometimes even just ignoring them is the best. For me, at least when I was involved with a narcissist, I just decided to ignore. And what they will do, if they cannot get to you directly, to bully you directly, they will use associates or other people around you to still bully you indirectly. So the best way is to just avoid them, because you cannot win against these evil people. They will just put you down and destroy you mentally. So just no contact with them, avoid them completely, and don't interact with them.
Okay, thank you so much for saying that. Avoid toxic people who are bullies. That's the point I got from Shiro. I've also seen Shamsa and Imani. Can you have Shamsa first?
I just wanted to add social media onto this, because you can get bullied on social media very easily. Because one of my friends, she got bullied on social media, and then she didn't come to school for like 2-3 weeks. And then what happened, she reported that who was bullying her and told her parents, and her parents told the school, and they all sorted it out. So what I would say, the 5 points I will give away is, like, for bullying is walk away, ignore them, and tell someone that you can trust to stop the bullying, and ask the bully to stop if you feel safe doing that. And if it doesn't work, stay calm and tell the teacher and act immediately.
Thank you, Shamsa, for your pointers. We got that. Walk away. I have a problem walking away. But as you said, if you have the strength you can tell them to stop. If not, go to someone of authority. But as Francesca said, there's some people who are in authority that will not even help you. Then look for someone else, whether it's your parents or whoever, find someone who can help. Imani, and then Ciiku, please.
I think the biggest problem also is that many people being bullied, again, may not be too afraid to say it, also because they may feel embarrassed, or they just don't want to make the situation worse, like with the Shiro's son. But I also say that in this case, I think it could be very good for parents to like reassure their child, look, you can say it, like you can say anything to me, or maybe even mention that even they have been in similar situations and that they will help you. Now, one thing I've also noticed that many bullies have is they have very low self-esteem. So it's not only being narcissistic, it's a lot of times it's low self-esteem that they have issues with, and then they want to put it on others, all these issues, to make themselves feel better. And recently, I found an interesting way of how maybe we could stop this in the future. I was reading this, what do you call it, invisible racism, and I saw some interesting articles talking about how to start with kids from when they are very young, where they learn from they do activities where they learn how to be kind to each other, and every day do a little kindness. So in that way, when you see someone treat you well, you feel better about yourself, you gain better self-esteem, and if everybody has a good self-esteem, people are less likely to hurt each other. Many times when someone's been hurt, they'll do it to someone else, and it will recycle. Like it will continue.
I definitely agree. It starts from our children. We have to teach our children to respect everybody. You're not gonna make fun of someone because they're overweight. They have, I don't know, a lazy eye, or their hair is, I don't know whatever in your head you think it shouldn't be. We need to teach our children to do differently. And I did hear Antonella say that bullying is not only racism. I do agree with you. When we started discussion, we talked about bullying just being people going for people who they believe are weak for whatever reason. They will go after anyone who they feel they can get away with, constantly putting down or whatever it is they're doing. So,
yeah, I'm just going to touch on what Imani said, and then Shepa. I'll say about Imani first because I just remember she just spoke. It's very important to remember, as Imani said, that some kids bully because they're being bullied at home. Their parents might be abusive to them, and they go to school and like Kirigo said, bullies look for someone who they feel is weaker. So those kids might go to try and take it out on someone they feel is weaker. And this is why it's so important in schools, at least, that teachers get involved, because they could help both people. They could help the kid, talk to the child and see if there's any issues at home, and also support the kid being bullied. So that's one thing. I wanted to talk about social media as well. This is such a big problem for younger people today. We've actually had a young person that volunteers for us being bullied on social media, and we have tried to get the police involved. And I really, I'm not even, I feel no, I'm not gonna hold back from saying this on social media, because we approached the police to try and get some intervention with this person that was bullying this young girl online. And we really didn't get much support. And actually the girl's trust was broken because she asked for her parents not to be involved, and the parents were involved. I was there as a responsible adult, so the police could have dealt with me as a professional and not involve the parents, because involving the parents made it worse for her, because it's just culturally, she's from a culture where her being online and all that might be seen as wrong for her parents. So we're really trying to make sure she's supported without dragging the parents in. So really she was let down by people in authority, and now she doesn't trust us or the police to support her. And this is why it's so important for people who are approached to intervene in bullying scenarios to really think about how they are doing it, because you could end up making someone draw in and they will not open up if they're bullied, and it could actually end badly with suicide or something worse than if you just try to handle that situation correctly.
Thank you so much for your input. Again, we talked about when someone doesn't get help from the proper authorities, or they can't get help, as Antonella had talked about, people who don't have parents, or situations where you can't go to your parent, and then you go to someone in authority and you don't get help. That is so sad. And that's why, as we are all agreeing, people are committing suicide. The young ones don't have anybody to go to in the end, and they feel their life is finished and they just finish it. That's extremely sad. Yes, Jamila?
I think that when it comes to bullying, people should be taught in school, so then when they grow up, not just when they're younger to know how to deal with it, when they grow up and their kids going through it, like you said in the situation about one of the volunteers, she couldn't go to her parents because her parents just didn't understand why. They didn't want to think about the fact that their child was hurting. So I think if they teach this type of stuff in school, that means that the next generation will be able to grow up and their kids will be able to tell them, like, I'm being bullied, and then not be afraid that the parents are just gonna brush it over and think about the other issue that's within the actual problem of bullying.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, Jamila, I totally agree with you, because you actually just confirmed what Ciiku said, and we are all in agreement about this. Yes, Francesca?
Yeah, it was just similar to both Ciiku's and Jamila's. I thought, yeah, like, I think we definitely need like programs in school to teach kids like about anti-bullying. I think, to be honest, the majority of kids, I'm sure the majority of parents teach them not to bully. So I think we need to find out what is happening in school that makes these kids that are taught bullying is wrong, that it's okay to bully people. And then at the same time, I think from my criminology degree, like I've learned that the justice system and school system is against victims. Victims are at the bottom of the pile, so even the bully gets more attention when they've done something wrong than the victim. And I think that's what we just need to change around with stuff like school programs where teaching bullying's wrong, start like helping the victims rather than bullies. And I think as well, a lot of the time bullies, they just pick on people because they're jealous of them.
Yeah.
Like they're jealous of their thriving, jealous of what they have, and jealous that they haven't got something. But yeah.
Definitely, that's true. And I just got that. It's so sad when people in authority, again, don't do anything. Like the system, Ciiku also gave an example of what Francesca is saying, where the police actually did not help this girl that needed help, which made her lose trust also in the system. It's actually a bit disheartening. Imani and then Shakira.
I was just going to agree with the fact about if we like teach the school system, like they teach about how to about bullying and stuff, it will not only help these generations, the newer generations. It also help the people themselves and who they surround themselves with. Because let's say if I show kindness to someone, of course it doesn't always happen, but if I show kindness to someone and we all show kindness to each other, it's going to spread more. Like if you experience negativity and bullying, that's just what you're gonna see, and that's what you'll end up doing yourself too. Of course, it doesn't happen. It's not in with every person, but it also like the environment we need to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shakira, please, and then Ciiku.
Yeah, it's just to add to a point that I feel like a few people have mentioned about the people who go after you, the ones who are like jealous or like insecure about what they have in their own lives. It's again an example, one of the biggest bullies that I had in my class, like this kid like cut my hair behind me, like he was like always aggressively racist towards me, called me the N-word all the time. And I actually I thought that he was white for 9 years of my school career. I thought that he was white until some random conversation that I had with one of my classmates where they just mentioned that he was also half black, which was just a complete surprise to me. And I don't know, I found him in like a broom closet or something, and he just talked and poured his heart out to me. For some reason, he seemed like he'd been drinking a little bit. But the things that he was talking about, that his family didn't want him, and he had all these like internal issues that he's had himself, like he was given up to the foster system, and his foster parents don't want to adopt him because they're making money off of fostering him. And he was just opening up all these secrets that he had, that he wasn't like comfortable in his own race. And that just like opened my eyes completely, because I don't easily hate people, but this person was like on the verge of me hating them and loathing them because of all the stuff that they made me go through. But just that one conversation just made me do like a 180, and I started feeling compassion for a person who tormented me for like 10 years of my life, because of the story that he told me, and how I figured out that the reason that he hated on me so much was because I was comfortable in my own skin color, and I had parents, like the parents who gave birth to me, like, are also the ones who wanted to keep me, and they clearly love me a lot. And that just showed me like it's because he was lacking something in his own life that he was going after me so much.
Yeah. True. I think we all agreed here that many bullies is because they lack something. You have something they don't have, or you're confident and they don't have that. So the only way is to go after other people who have things they don't have. Yes, Imani? Thanks, Shakira.
So I also hear that many times when you hear about homophobic people, being bullied, bullies against people who have a different sexuality, many of these people later on, you hear about them coming out as being gay too, which is really interesting. It's the same as what Shakira is saying. They have internal issues. They are jealous that you are not afraid of what you are, and you have these things they all wanted. So I find that really interesting, and of course it doesn't excuse their behavior, but it definitely make you think differently and see things from another perspective.
Yes, Ciiku.
Thanks, Imani, and Shakira for sharing that sometimes people are just projecting things in themselves that they don't like, or for whatever reason they have an issue with. I would like to say, as the founder of Four Wings, that bullies can also be partners and boyfriends. So there are many women in relationships where they're being bullied. And by bullying, I don't just mean physical violence. I mean emotional bullying, psychological control, being put down and being made to feel like you're not clever and you're stupid, and gaslighting. All those things are a form of bullying. And I think the points we take from this session can also be applied in a relationship if you're going through abuse. So ladies, if you're going through bullying by a partner or boyfriend. If somebody is a narcissist, as Shiro said, don't feed the narcissism. You just need to ignore it. And of course, if you can live safely, leave, because physical abusers usually start with bullying, just verbal, and putting you down. And then it escalates through the years and ends up into physical violence and sometimes even murder. So you're better off leaving if you can, as soon as you notice that bullying behavior. Some people have said stand up for yourself, but if that doesn't work, then you need to keep yourself safe and save yourself a lot of years of aggro by just leaving if you're able to.
I definitely agree with what Shiko said. It's not everyone who can stand up to people. But I also agree that with this kind of people, it's just better you walk away. You're talking to a wall. You can't reason with the wall. In this situation, walk away. It's not worth it. So that you can say you have a boyfriend or you have a whatever. It really is not worth it. Walk away. Anyone else with some good points to share? Yes, Francesca?
It's also a bit about standing up for yourself. Like I've also always been taught, like, stand up for yourself if you ever bullied. But I think at the same time, like, I don't think you should have to change your character. Like my like parents and my nan in particular always told me, like, be tough. Like, you don't have to be violent, but if someone is bullying you, you need to be tough. You need to put on this exterior. And if anyone's ever you know, confrontation with me, I don't like it. I don't want to be a horrible person, and I can't do it. So I don't think that we should teach people to change themselves, change their caring nature, a bit like Antonella said, when people pick on that. But then at the same time, I think we need to, yeah, like, make it cool to stand up for people, and like not weird to stand up for the person that's being beaten down. Because they shouldn't have to change themselves. So if you have the confidence, stand up for them.
I agree with you, Francesca. We also did point that out, that I think one of you also said is not everybody who can stand up. And that's okay. We can't all be the same. Yeah, you know, otherwise the world will be boring if we all had the same character. And as the ones who are stronger, please never let someone like that on their own. Please help them. Please be the shoulder they can cry on. And if you have that strength to stand up against bullies for other people, do it. And Francesca said that she doesn't, that's not her character. And I agree, because I know people whose character is not like that. They choose to walk away. That's also okay. And you can walk away, but at the same time, find someone else then who can help you. Give your, tell your situation to someone else who can help you if you're not able to. Who was gonna speak now? Shiko and then Shakira, thank you.
I just respond about changing character and things like that. I think it's important to separate aggression from assertiveness. So obviously, you know, we're not saying go and be aggressive and be physical, although we're not going to judge anyone who's been pushed to the point where they have to, you know, also resort to that. So we're not judging that. Well, but I think it's very important that if you're being bullied, to just get some strength from your friends or whatever to be assertive. So assert your position to say, you're not going to bully me. And that doesn't happen overnight. That's why I'm saying get some strength from your friends. Everyone has a friend somewhere who is maybe a bit tougher than they are. So get your friends to help you to be able to stand up to that person by being assertive to say, no, you cannot bully me. And that's just an important point, to separate aggression from assertiveness.
Thank you for that. We, like Shiko said, there's always somebody we can go to for help if we feel we can't handle it. And it's okay. if we can't handle it, it's good to remember that you shouldn't feel, oh, you're useless or whatever because you can't deal with those kind of people. It's okay. It's okay. Just find someone who can help you, because like we said, we are not all the same. And don't feel you're any lesser than anybody who can. You're worth the same. It's just that you have different characters.
There was also a low point in my school career where I ended up almost being a bully in my own way, I guess. Well, it was definitely a bully. It was the specific classmate that I guess unconsciously I saw this person as like another person that could be a victim in this way. And I feel like in my own way, I felt like I was already like at the bottom of the food chain because of like everybody in my grade looked down on me, and kids who were younger than me thought they could do it as well. That I had this one interaction where I talked down to this kid and he hadn't actually done anything to me. He was just sitting in the hallway, and I don't even know. I just lashed out, I guess, for no reason other than I didn't want to be the bottom of this food chain. I wanted somebody else to finally take over that space for me. And I just immediately regretted it. It was because I already know how it felt to have all these people hating on you, and then to be that person myself, it just made me kind of hate myself a little bit, just feel like disgusted with myself, because I felt that I had some kind of need to treat another person the same way that I know made me feel absolutely terrible because of that. Just that one experience just completely cut me off from that, and it just made me feel terrible just because of that one experience. And I still remember it, and I still like sometimes have dreams about it or just overthink it and think like, what if that was like, that could have been like the last thing that tipped this kid over if he was being bullied too.
Anyway, it's good, Shakira, that you realized that you had done wrong and you rectified your behavior.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I wanted to say Shakira's point and another point. I think that is good that you realize, because most bullies don't, obviously, because they're bullying people, but you realize and you felt bad about it, because there's even some bullies who don't even know that they're doing it to other people, just because that's what's been happening to them and they think that it can't get anywhere. So when they're bullying someone, they don't think about it actually like affecting them. So I think it's good that you realize and you've actually said that you felt really bad about it.
Thank you, Mila. It's true. Thank you for pointing out that as parents to be careful how we deal with our kids, that we are fair, and there's not one who's an angel and one that's not an angel. So we try to be fair. I know all of the.
You're on mute.
Sorry, we try, and sometimes we might fail, but generally speaking, we have to be fair how we treat our children. So parents at home, let's be fair to the kids. I'm thinking, Maggie, if you want to say something, just call out and say, hello, I'm here, and we'll let you speak. Ciiku, would you like to say something, please?
You're on mute.
I just want to ask the young people, actually anyone here who's opened up about being bullied, did you immediately go and tell someone, like maybe your parents, that you were bullied? I'm just curious.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
So we're talking about bullying and children being bullied at school, and also grown-ups being bullied by adults, like maybe your partner or your boyfriend. So that's the topic for today. And I just asked the young people or anyone who's shared about bullying, when you were bullied, did you go to your parents immediately and say something? Because we need to know if there's a reason why people don't go immediately to someone for help.
I just want to speak about different, it's bullying, but different type of bullying, look like when you bullying from your husband.
Okay.
And in Islam, this you know, you should respect your husband, you should do everything he said, or something like this. But people that doesn't know in Islam as well, bullying is not allowed at all, you know. And I'm facing bullying from my husband, and because our culture is you should respect, or you didn't talk back to him, or you do everything he want, or you accept everything from him. That make me just you know, look like I can't talk about these things, or I can't say to my parent everything until, you know, it get worse and worse, you know, every time it get worse. Until I know that, I talk to them, and I try to be strong. I try to say no. I don't want to accept this bullying, and I read more and about Islam, and I talk to him.
Hello? Are you there? Hello?
I think we just continue on with Shamsa, and then we'll have Antonella. Then she can join in when she can. Shamsa, what would you like to say?
I was like, when I got bullied, I was like, should I tell my mom, should I not? But at the end, I told my mom, because I was like, what if something bad, like, what if that person does something bad to me or something like that? So I just told my mom, and then she sorted it all out.
So can I just ask Shepa, in the beginning, why were you thinking, should I tell my mom? What was stopping you from?
Because she gets worried with me very easily and stuff like that. That's why.
Okay, that's good to know. And
Antonella, sorry.
When I was young, and it happened to me at the elementary school, I didn't speak all the time, because I know that my mother is very patient, and she is so calm that I could defend myself better, but not because she doesn't love me, but because she has a different personality. So since a very early age, this also contributed to create more silences between us. And sometimes mothers, not because of their fault, but they cannot protect us. And in some cases, even if we have a loving mother, but sometimes children grow up alone. This is a reality that we must speak about.
Yeah.
And this contributed to create inner scars. So that's why I am positively jealous. Yeah, I'm jealous when I see, jealous now, not as much, but when I see a mother having a deep, a very close, also joking a relation with her daughter or with her son. Because having a very strong relation with your mother or your father can really create a stronger personality. And this stronger personality of the previous child will transform into a strong woman or man in future. So not everyone has this privilege. Maybe my experiences could sound inferior, but I'm here also to say that really we are never alone. So you that are watching this video, don't forget that you are not alone. Whatever age you are, whatever color you are, whatever religious background you have, if you are vegan, Buddhist, yellow, green, if you are a Simpson, whatever, you are not alone. You are not alone, not never alone.
Thank you very much, Antonella, for your point. We are never alone. We should always remember that there's always someone who can help us, always.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to hear from Shiro, then Imani, and then Jamila. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I was following up. It's a pity that we didn't hear everything, but I believe, like she says, culture and sometimes even religion. But let me concentrate on culture. Has a lot to do with people keeping quiet. For example, with us Africans, we are raised and socialized to respect people in authority. That's why you find if an adult bullies a younger person, they may, like a teacher, for instance, like I was saying with my son, they will just keep quiet, or even a boss. And then in the family setup, the husband, you're supposed to respect the husband. And many times the victim is the one who gets blamed. If a person is bullying you and even gets physically abusive to you, people will wonder, what did you do to provoke them? So people may just keep quiet for the sake of even image. You don't want to expose your personal problems, your family problems to other people. So people just stay in there and continue being victimized and bullied by the bullies, who just keep getting worse because you're not taking any action.
Yes, they don't get any better. Imani?
I just wanted to say that one thing, a reminder for people who have been bullied is, yeah, you've been bullied, and that's obviously horrible. But I also think, not that I'm saying that being bullied is good, but I also felt like, for me, in my experience, it built character. Like, it made me better at empathizing with other people's situation, made me care more. Made me, if I saw someone who experiencing, bullying or similar situation, that I'll stand up for them and understand what they're going through. So one thing I want to remind people, that even though you've been bullied, it doesn't mean that you're a weak person. Like, you could be strong, and not the way that we think being strong is, because being strong comes in different ways. But I felt like, personally with me, I am much mentally strong than I thought I would be, because in how I handle, at least me being bullied at work, and staying calm and not trying to rash out, which I normally would do. So just a reminder for that.
Thank you, Imani, for reminding us that being bullied and not being you can be bullied and not have the strength to stand up against the bullying. Doesn't mean that you're weak or whatever. It just means that we all are different. Some deal with it differently. But as Ciiku said, let's not suffer alone. Let's find help. Don't suffer alone. Don't do that. Antonella said the same. Find somebody who can help you. We are here for each other. Find someone who can help you. Yes, Mila?
Mine is actually what Ciiku said before, is that me, when I was younger, I think I got bullied, not bullied, but I was racially, like, microaggression from one of my friends. It was when I was really, like, young. I was in year 1, maybe. I think that's 6 or 7. I don't know, one of those. And what it was, but I just automatically went to go tell my mom. I was like, I think it was my mom or my dad, and I was like, he said this to me. And then by getting the support from my parents, I was like, okay, I'm able to do this. And as I grew up, I just kind of got used to saying if I was getting attacked or bullied. And even though when I got to high school, I didn't really want my mom to go into my high school, but it was nice that you could tell your mom and she would support you. And I think that you don't always have to have your parents go to school for you, but just knowing that they support you and they feel like you can tell them when it happens, that can make you stronger. So when you're facing bullying, you know that you have your parents back when you go home to tell them. Like, get like discriminated against, people are nasty to you, they bully you for you being different, but then you go home to your family, so it kind of helps a lot. So yeah.
Hey, thank you, Mila, for answering the question Ciiku had actually asked about if there are people who have gone to their parents to tell them about it so they can get some sort of support. We know it's not everyone who can. Yes, Ciiku?
Yeah, so obviously as an organization, we would also like to know how to support people and maybe to discover the issues behind maybe people not opening up about bullying. And from what I've heard is that some young people worry about their parents worrying, so they don't want to worry their parents. Others feel that their parents might not be able to support them, not because they don't love them, but just that they might not be able to do it. As an organization, we want to know the issues so that we can try and help to create some policies, maybe by working with researchers to create some policies that can change things. I also want to say, in response to Antonella's point, everyone's experience here is valid. If somebody was bullied from a racial perspective, that's their experience and we respect that. But your experience is not minimized. Everyone's experience is very valid and very important to them and is big to them. So we appreciate every person's experience and you sharing it with us. And nobody is judging anyone saying this one is not as important as this. So that's just something I wanted to make sure that everyone on this panel understands.
Thank you so much, Ciiku, for pointing that out, because it's not all of us who have been racially discriminated, but we have been bullied in a different way. We have experienced a different kind of bullying, and so have you, and every single person's story is valid. So please remember to make it. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, for sharing your personal experience. We know for some of you it wasn't easy, but we are so happy because bullying is a very, very big problem and it's not going away. And we appreciate each story because everybody has shown that bullying can come in different forms. It can come from adults, can come from people in authority, like teachers who are joining in the bullying and everything. People at home, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Please rate and subscribe to our channel. We will appreciate it. I really hope that you'll join us next week on Wednesday, the 22nd of July. And our topic is inspirational women in film. You can all join us and tell us who you think has inspired you. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you, also the ones at home. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.